Okay, welcome back. This is part 3. We're ready to put some power on this LM386 audio amplifier and listen to some music. So at this point, we've got the chip in the board. We've got all the connections made to it, including pins 2 and 4 ground. Pin 3 has got the input signal coming from the aux cable. That aux jack is sitting down the board. It's been grounded properly. We've also got the output coming from pin 5 through a capacitor, and then that's going into our speaker, which connects to that capacitor on the stripe side, and then there's also the speaker connects to the ground, which is on that rail on the bottom. What I've added to this for part 3 is this device called a terminal block, and this is how this is one option. There's other ways to do this. This is one way to connect your battery. And you'll notice that it's got a couple of screws on the top, this terminal block, and then if you look right down the bottom of it, there are these 2 inlets here, and that's where I can connect my wires that come from the battery. So let me go ahead and make those connections. I'm going to put the ground on the left side of this. It doesn't really matter, but that's just the way I'm thinking about it. And so I'm going to sort of open up that door, and I'll put the leads, that black lead, in there, and then I'm going to clamp that down. Let me fool around with this first. Okay, I think I've got it better now. It wasn't fitting in there right, so now I'm going to bring this in to that left side, and then I'll screw that terminal down. So you can see there's a good connection. I got to make sure this thing sits down on the board good, so it's not loose, but hopefully you can see that connects down in there good. And then I'll do the same thing with the +9, so we've got positive power coming from the battery. So I'll also close down on that, and you can see that those 2 are connected nicely. So the terminal block is a nice option. Mine's a little bit bent up here, but I'm going to fix it. Okay, like that. So that'll sit there. Hopefully you can see those going in there. And now I have to actually make the connections from the terminal block to the power supply rails. So when I do this, I'm gonna go down on this row here, and I'm going to connect it to my rail up on the top of the board. So that looks like this, and then I'll do the same thing on the ground going down to that bottom rail, and I'll show you that. So that looks pretty nice. So you see that ground is coming down to the bottom rail, and then that connects up to these other grounds, including the speaker and the aux ground. Okay, so we should have good power on there. Again, it's something I could do to test this. If it doesn't work, or if I'm a little bit worried about it, would be to check to make sure that power is coming onto the amplifier correctly. So at this point, we're ready to go ahead and try this. I've got some music on my Pandora on my cell phone. This is going to play for me. You can see my aux cable's connected. There's all the junk on my desk, and it's connected right to this. I've got my speaker over here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and push play. And it works the first time. Now it sounds maybe a little bit crackly, but it works, and we can make a few corrections to this to make it work better, but it sounds okay. It's not a Macintosh, but it's not bad. Now, one of the things that we can do to help this out is, you notice that I'm running the signal out through this capacitor to the speaker. I showed you that capacitor right here. That's that big blue one. But what I don't have is this connector here, which includes a small capacitor. They're showing 0.05 microfarads. I've done this with a 0.05 microfarad capacitor or so. There's a 10 ohm resistor. It's called a Zobel network. Of those of you who are interested in getting a little bit nerdy about this, you'll have to take Physics 3011. That's called a Zobel, and the Zobel network will clean that up quite a bit. And I'm not going to show that here, but that would certainly be something to add here. It'll clean up your sound quite a bit. And once you get this thing going, it's fun, and then you can add a lot of stuff, including, you know, a power indicator, different power supplies, maybe a second amplifier if you had a stereo system, and so on. But I did want to show you this basics, and we'll probably have another video series on putting this together with some soldering and so on. So thank you for your attention and good luck.